Good morning, Morristown East. My name is Petty Officer Karg. I am the Navy recruiter for the area. A lot of you may know me already, a lot of you may not. A little background information about me. I come from a very small town in Missouri. I graduated with a class of about 12 people, and I promise that this is there's a legitimate reason that I'm bringing this up. I come from a town where there's you know, it's so flat that you can watch your dog run away for 3 weeks. So I mean, there's just nothing where I'm from. I was going to receive a full ride scholarship out of high school to any college in Missouri that I wanted to go to for my excellence in music. But I knew that college wasn't really something that I was wanting to do straight out of high school. I didn't want to go from one classroom directly into another whenever I wasn't, super sure of what I wanted to do anyway. So I figured, okay, well, what else is there for me to do though? So after speaking with my brother, he had finally convinced me to go speak with a military recruiter. He didn't specifically say Navy, although he had been in the Navy for about 1.5 years at this point. So I went and spoke with the Navy recruiter. And initially I said there's absolutely no way that I'm joining the military. I didn't grow up watching military movies or anything like that. I didn't, grow up playing Army, Navy, or anything like that. I was 5'5", 125-pound kid from small town nowhere. With no dreams, no aspirations, no real plan. But I knew that the military wasn't that, because I didn't think I was mentally tough enough, physically tough enough. And so, when I went to speak with the recruiter, I was really only going to speak with him just to get my brother off my back. So, I went and talked to him. I told him up front, I said, all right, man, I was like, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'll talk to you about for 20 minutes, listen to what you have to say, and then, I appreciate it, but no go. An hour and a half after I had sat down and began speaking with him, I was filling out all of my paperwork. I went to MEPS 4 days later, picked my job, had my contract and my ship date. I had initially planned to only do 4 years. And yet here I am 12 years later. I will retire when I'm 39 years old. And that right there is something that nobody else can say that they get to do. I have been to countries that I had never even heard of before. I have been to Dubai 4 times, Bahrain twice, Greece, Spain, Italy, France. But we'll get into all that and how the travel works and everything. But I just kind of wanted to give you a little bit of overview, because I get a lot of the time I get there's no way that I'm joining the military, and a lot of the reasons are for the same reasons that I didn't ever think that I would either. I didn't see that it was for me. I didn't think that, again, I was mentally tough enough, physically tough enough. I thought that military was for people who couldn't cut it in college or whatever the case is, and in all actuality, that's not the case at all. The Navy has been the catalyst that has really kick-started me into becoming who I was always supposed to be. And again, coming straight out of high school, I didn't think that the Navy was going to be that for me. And yet, again, here I am, 12 years later, already preparing for my retirement. I'm 30 years old right now, and I'm already planning for my retirement. But the reason that I bring that up is because I was exactly where you are. Obviously, about 1,200 miles away from you, but, I was exactly where you are. Sitting in class in high school, maybe no idea what I want to do after high school, no really idea what's out there, but I know that I don't want to stick around my hometown, at least not always, right? But I always knew that, even after I had initially joined, I always knew that there was going to be that possibility that I would move back home. And that's obviously, that's an opportunity for you to get out and get experience and see things and do things that anybody else that you're going to be that's going to be sitting right next to you right now, that they're not going to be able to, right? So, and I get all the time, well, which branch do you think is going to be best for me? And the answer to that is I don't really have an answer. It just depends on where you feel like your life is taking you. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, and what's the best way to get there? And for me, and for most people that I speak with, the answer to that is the Navy. And here's why. the majority of people that I get that I speak to that come in and have questions about the Navy, one of the main things that they want to do is obviously they want to get their college paid for. Obviously they want that solid paycheck, but majority of them, one of the big three is that they want to travel the world as well. And that's something that I have had no shortage of in my Navy career. I was on an aircraft carrier for 5 years. And this is another common misconception as well, is that people think that you join the United States Navy, you go out onto the middle of the ship, and you're just out in the water, for your entire career. And that's not the case. We're not living this Popeye lifestyle, just out in the middle of the ocean like the Pirates of the Caribbean for years on end. That's not how things work. Like I said, I was on that aircraft carrier for 5 years. Of those 5 years, I was only ever out to sea for a collective total of 1 year, 8 months, and 9 days. And that included both of my deployments, one of which was 6 months, one of which was 7 months. And on those deployments, that's how I've been able to see the world in ways that literally nobody else ever gets to do, right? People get out of high school and they have all these plans and all these aspirations and things like that, and that's fantastic. But in all reality, things will never, more than likely, will never go the way that you plan they will. And unfortunately, most people's plans, they break up after, let's say that you decide that you want to go to college. Those plans break up after your first semester, and then, college just isn't what you thought it was, and then now you're stuck. Now what do you do, right? So whereas me, I've never had to have that fear, right? So coming out of high school, there's no way that I would have ever thought that I would have ever gotten to travel the world the way that I have, and get paid to do it. Most people say that they want to travel the world, but hardly anybody ever gets to. And if they do, they're not going to places like I've been to. Like I said before, I've been to Dubai 4 times, Bahrain twice, Greece, Spain, Italy, France. They're going somewhere like on a Carnival cruise where you're pulling into Puerto Rico for a couple hours, then you're back on the ship, and then hey, 2 days later your vacation's over. Whereas for me, all these places that I've gotten to go to, every single place that I've been to, I've 4, 5, 6 days at a time, the ship would pull into these ports and allow us to go out, not even in uniform, go out in civilian clothes and be able to experience things that nobody else that I know has ever gotten to or will ever get to. Being able to do community relations projects, and for example, we went to Marseille, France. Was my very first port that I ever visited. I wasn't a super huge fan of France in general, but that's a story for a different time. But when we pulled in there, we actually had the opportunity to go out to, there were some schools that had been ravaged by a couple of fires, and we got to go out and help reinstall walls and doors and things like that, new lockers and stuff like that, to help rebuild this school during that very short time that we were there. So getting to do community relations projects and stuff like that in a foreign country like France, which is somewhere that a lot of people have always wanted to but never ever get the opportunity to. You know what I mean? Like, I was being paid to go out and see these places and do these things. Getting to go to the Eiffel Tower, getting to go see the soccer stadium at Marseille, getting to go to the top of the tallest building in the world in Dubai, getting to go to one of the largest malls in the entire world, getting to experience the indoor ski slopes at the world's only 6-star hotel, just all these things that a kid from small town nowhere had never even dreamed about doing, and yet I got paid to do it. And it's just something that the Navy takes you to automatically. I mean, that's not even something that you have to request. That's just something that we do. And that's all aside from the fact that again, you get your college paid for, 100% tuition. Like for me, for example, I have an associate's degree in personal financial management that the Navy is paid for. I have a business degree in business administration with a focus in management that the Navy's paid for. I have a bachelor's degree in human resource management that the Navy's paid for. And I am currently two classes away from finishing my master's degree in human resource management. And every single dime of that the Navy's paid for. That is a huge burden that I'll never have to worry about. in terms of student loans and things like that. And I could keep going through school if I wanted to, that the Navy would pay for, just because I keep, signing these enlistments, and, I keep serving, working towards my retirement. I'll get out of the Navy with all of these all these certifications and all these degrees and all this stuff, all these resume bullets that are going to go on my resume that are going to make me look like a 5-star employee for any employer that, that's ever hiring. These are just things that I was given by the Navy just because I decided to sign up my name on that line. And it's been so much more than just a signature to me. The Navy has, has the people that are in the places that they are, the career counselors, my mentors, my leadership. They weren't there just to tell me what to do. They weren't there to to yell at me and boss me around like you'll see in these these military movies and stuff. I mean, I had people in place who it was their job to sit down with me and say, okay, where do you see yourself wanting to be in 10 years? All right, what's the best way to get there? And those people have guided me to help me figure out that, I didn't come out of high school knowing that I wanted to be a human resource major. I didn't even, whenever I first started college, I had no idea that I wanted to major in human resources. But it was through the guidance and the training and the pushing and all these things that the Navy has given to me that, I was able to decide that, okay, I really enjoy learning about what incentivizes people to work, what incentivizes people to do their very best. What's the best way to train people? How can I become the best leader that I possibly can be? And there's no way that I would have done that without the Navy. And again, we're not living that Popeye lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like, we do go out to sea, but even when we're out to sea, we're not eating MREs or scraps or anything like that. Like, we're eating legitimate food cooked by legitimate people. We're sleeping in legitimate beds. We've got very state-of-the-art gyms out to sea. We have video game corners and music competitions and things like that. They take MMA classes in the hangar bay, and we would run 5Ks on the flight deck and play flag football on the flight deck. And they had basketball courts they would set up in the hangar bay and play pickup basketball games and stuff like that. I kept a guitar on the ship, and I would, whenever I wasn't working, after I get done working out, I'd go down and, sit down and I'd write music, with my friends and, play video games off the TV and the Xbox that I kept in my, my locker. So, and if this doesn't tell you everything you need to know about what life on a ship is like, I don't know what will. In that every single aircraft carrier in our fleet has a Starbucks on board. And I mean, if you don't believe me, look that up yourself. Or I can prove it to you, right? So, I mean, we don't live the lifestyle that people think. It's not, a ho-hum and like living in a dumpster sort of lifestyle. It's really a lifestyle that, honestly, I really wish that I could go back to. Because, being able to go out to sea and see the most beautiful sky that you'll ever see in your entire life, getting to, go and ride an exercise bike or run on a treadmill while you're staring out over the ocean. I mean, that's, what's a better life than that? You know what I'm saying? So, and again, it's getting out of, East Tennessee for a little bit, being able to get out and experience things and get paid to get out of here to go out and experience things. And, another big, selling point that a lot of people don't think about is that, yeah, we're the Navy. Yeah, we're going to live near water, but that's kind of the point of it, right? You will always, always, always live near a beach, and that's just, that's just, again, that's what the Navy does. So, we get these all the time that, because again, I was only ever out to sea for a collective total of 1 year, 8 months, and 9 days. That means that for over 3.5 years, I was, I had an apartment out in Virginia Beach. I was taking college classes at the local community college, again, that the Navy was paying for. I had a band that we'd go around and play, beach festivals and stuff like that. I was able to have a life. I had, pets. I had, roommates. I had friends. I had, I didn't have to give up who I was to become the sailor that I am today. You don't have to stop being who you are and enjoy doing the things that you do to do this. If anything else, the Navy just gives you more opportunities to become who you are and do the things that you enjoy to do. And again, that's just what the Navy is. And I have been very successful in my recruiting career. and I chalk it up to one thing and one thing only, and that's the fact that I legitimately have a product that sells itself. I have a product that, as long as you know everything that you need to know about it, you're going to want to be a part of it. Because I joined the Navy to become part of something bigger than myself. And I have done exactly that. All right? The Navy is embedded in me. The Navy is what I will carry with me after I retire. The Navy is the only reason that I'm going to be able to retire. And especially with all the things that I will. So it comes down to why not? You know what I mean? And again, you may be thinking other branches as well. And I will encourage you to explore all of your options. Right? Don't settle on one branch because you have misconceptions about all the other branches. Right? Seriously sit down and seriously consider, what could I get out of the other branches? Because far too often I have people come to me and ask me, how do I switch from one branch to the other? Know what you want before you get in, and that way you know what branch is going to be best for you. All right? I enjoyed having fun. I enjoyed, knowing that I was still going to be able to be myself, and that's how I knew that the Navy was for me. And I didn't expect to do even 4 years, and yet here I am 12 years later. With all of the things that the Navy's given me, all the places that I've been able to go. So, even if you're thinking college, come talk to me. All right? Let me show you what the Navy actually is. Let me show you what the Navy can actually do for you. And I guarantee you're going to be surprised by the results. Now I'll open it up to any questions if anybody has absolutely anything. It can. So the question is, if you don't utilize the GI Bill yourself, can it be transferred to your family? So the answer to that is absolutely. The only stipulation to that is that you had to have had at least 7 years of service with 3 extra years added to where you're going to be able to, where you're going to show the Navy that you're going to complete at least 10. Once you reach that where you have at least 10 years on contract, you can transfer your GI Bill if you don't plan to use it, because you can utilize things like tuition assistance yourself, the NC PACE programs, the Navy college programs, all of these things that you can utilize to get your degree yourself and not even touch your GI Bill. And then after you reach that, where you have 10 years total on towards that end of your contract, then you can take that GI Bill and transfer it to your family, your children. You can split it up to where, let's say you have 2 children and you want to spread it up equally. You can give 2 years to one child and 2 years to the other child, and both children are going to receive that the housing allowance that comes along with that, with utilizing that GI Bill. And what I mean by that is as you're using the GI Bill, the VA is going to give you a housing allowance based on where you're going to school. So, for instance, for both of my bachelor's degrees, while I was in the reserves, for my 5.5 years that I was doing reserves, I was using the GI Bill to go to Lincoln Memorial University, and that's where I got both of my bachelor's degrees. While I was doing that, because I wasn't receiving the housing allowance during my military pay, the VA was giving me, I think it was something around in the realm of like $1,700, because that's what the housing allowance around that area was. So I was receiving something like $1,700 a month just because, and that's just to help me with bills while I was going through school. So I was a full-time student, had a full-time job, and the VA was still giving me a housing allowance to help me cover everything else, because of the fact that I was maintaining my full-time student status. So yes, you can absolutely transfer your GI Bill to your children, but still utilize the other benefits that the Navy has as well, to go and get your degree yourself. So. Okay. I am available Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. And you can reach me at 423-307-0654 if you have any questions, want to set something up to come in, or just swing on in. We're at 2550 East Morris Boulevard. We're over right next to the mall, right behind the Waffle House, and we're the second door on the right. So, but if anybody wants to set anything up, again, my number is 423-307-0654, and I'd be more than happy to sit down with you, answer questions, and see what we can do for you. So, but again, if I can do absolutely anything for you, you let me know. Okay, my job is not to it's not to force people into the Navy. My job is not to throw you in a van and ship you off to MEPS. That's not how I work. Okay. I legitimately want what's best for you. So if you come in and talk to me and then you decide that the Navy is not for you, then I've done my job. I've told you what the Navy is and I've showed you what it is. All right. I don't know, what's going to be best for you. I know what was best for me and what's been best for literally every single other person that I've ever met that's ever joined the Navy, and that was the Navy. But you can't know that the Navy is not for you if you do not come and sit down and speak with me. So if I can answer any questions or do anything for you, just let me know. And otherwise, have a great day.